Jesus Christ.
Nobility, apparitions and a ghostly photo all await the most haunted team at Croxteth Hall.
Hello and welcome to Most Haunted. Nestled in the middle of a modern estate, this 210-roomed mansion is said to be haunted by its previous occupants. With so many ghost sightings, we just had to come and investigate Croxteth Hall.
Croxteth Hall, just 5 miles outside Liverpool city centre, was the home of the Earls of Sefton, the Molyneux family, for over 400 years. Generations of this aristocratic title family enjoyed the trappings of their country manor lifestyle, especially hunting and shooting on their enormous estate. The last Earl, Hugh William Osbert Molyneux, died in 1972, and without an heir apparent, the local council took charge of the huge property. But could it be that the Molyneux family loved their home so much that their spirits still walk the corridors of Croxteth Hall?
I've spoken to quite a lot of people here about the place, and as far as I can tell, nothing horrible has ever happened. So there's no particular trauma that's caused the ghostly goings-on. And it seems as if the activity in this place is almost a replay of the activity that went on while this place was actually being inhabited. And that's something that I've not really experienced before. It's quite interesting, to say the least.
These kitchens look the same now as when they were first built. Now, on many occasions, the sounds of servants busying themselves can be heard, and also the spectral image of a housemaid has been seen by a multitude of guests.
There was myself and a colleague on the next floor up in an office. There was no one else in the building at that time. And we heard lots of noises. There were doors slamming and footsteps we could hear going up and down the stairs. We phoned down to the security lodge downstairs because whoever came into the building would have to come through there. And they said that nobody had come in. It was only later on that the significance of the day occurred to us. It was when the last Earl had died. It was the anniversary of his death when we actually heard these noises.
In the past, this room would have been a male domain, where men would have come after dinner to rest and smoke. In more recent years, dark figures have been seen sitting in non-existent chairs, preceded by the strong smell of tobacco. This is the breakfast room, where motion detectors seem to have a life of their own. They're continuously going off when there's no one here at all. Also, on one particularly stormy night, a fully trained police dog refused to enter this room and just cowered at the entrance.
I must be quite honest, going into various rooms, I started to realise that there were certain rooms that I didn't like. Rooms that you actually get that feeling of, I want to get out of here, and that's in the daytime. And then, of course, there's an interesting photograph of a supposed ghost. I've looked at it, and I'm reasonably impressed, but I have yet to see a real, genuine photograph of a ghost. This could be the one.
A visitor to the hall took the ghostly photograph in the principal corridor, where shadows and figures have been seen on many occasions.
This is part of the building that people find most uncomfortable. It's the attic, or what used to be known as the servants' quarters. Now, some of these people have actually witnessed strange mists, moans, groans. They even say they see ghosts of servants walking from room to room and in the corridors. Could these really be ghosts, or is it just all in the mind? We have 24 hours to find out.
Phil Wyman, our paranormal investigator, had spent some time familiarising himself with the main rooms. He conducted the baseline test as usual and set the trigger objects. There was nothing out of the ordinary to report. But with so many eyewitness accounts of ghostly sightings and paranormal sounds, Phil was hopeful that the crew might experience something during the investigation.
What are the most common things that people are seeing here and experiencing?
The most common things are noises, which we get a lot of in haunted places. Servants have been seen, and male figures. Nobody knows who those male figures are, so it'd be great if we could see some of those tonight.
Now, where do you think the most active part of the building is? Because it's so massive.
I would have to say the attic, or it used to be the servants' quarters. We was up there earlier, and I didn't like it one bit.
Do you think the reason why so many people are witnessing and seeing things that they think are paranormal is because it's still a Victorian house? There are things here that are from that era and things haven't changed.
That could very well be one of the main reasons for people seeing things. Everything in here is absolutely original. Most items are original, so people could be sort of connecting those items with seeing things of the Victorian era.
Croxteth Hall was one of the largest locations the Most Haunted team had ever investigated. The corridors seemed to stretch on endlessly, giving the hall an eerie quality, even in daylight. But could past inhabitants of this grand old home be responsible for the ghostly sightings reported here? As day turned to night, psychic Derek Akora joined us on location, and we were ready to start the investigation.
Very aware of a group of ladies who are talking away, and there's a feeling of with one particular lady, she's hurt, she's disgusted. It's like as if trying to console a young lady, and you see I'm getting ladies of high standing in this room. Ladies.
Did you hear that?
Yeah.
You heard that, Tom?
Okay. I'm aware of a lady placing her arms around.
What's it again?
Did you hear that?
Was that creaking floorboards? Did it?
No.
Where did it?
No, it's another thud, but back that way.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
That's
Yeah, we have to be
movement as
wary.
well. That was my movement, John.
Yeah, I heard something in that room over there.
That room over there?
Okay.
Yeah.
Can I go and have a look? That'll be all right.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Good. So they're placing their arms around
The
her.
place, it's like as if they're going through, or, you know, placing their arms around. This is a maid. Charlotte? Charlotte?
Charlotte.
Charlotte? Charlotte? She's close by. Charlotte, okay. And it's like as if she's focusing her thoughts, as if to say that, I don't know if it's, they're trying to reason things out, they're trying to sort things out. Can you hear it?
Sorry, Derek.
That's okay. Come on, let them do it.
above us.
The funny thing is, the crew room is downstairs below us.
There's nobody else walking around.
Yeah.
There's only Tommy here, and Tommy's
Yeah.
sitting in the security thing.
Okay,
Above us is some of the last burn out things.
okay.
Yeah.
Again.
Yeah.
Come this way, yeah?
It seems odd when you know for sure. I have genuinely asked that Tommy is the only person here, their security person. He has given me a walkie-talkie. He said, I am not going to move or walk around. I'm going to sit in this one particular office, and unless you want me to move, you walkie-talkie me. So
This is exactly above the room.
an hour through.
We should stand for a couple of minutes and listen, see what happens.
Can you just ask, Suze, can you radio Tommy, and can you just ask him, has he been in the fire room in the last 5 minutes?
Hi Tommy, it's Suzanne. Could you let the team know please whether you've been anywhere near the fire room as they're filming and they're hearing things? Thanks Tommy.
Sorry, she had footsteps then.
Did you hear that, Yvette?
Is that he's not been near there?
He's S4E04 in the crew room.
So let's go back to this maid, Charlotte, and there's a secret, and everybody's putting their arms around her. She's very upset about everything. This is what you're picking up so far.
Yes. It's not just Charlotte. Charlotte has actually come into the atmosphere here, and maybe she's listening to us now, but I feel that there's a group of ladies who are trying to console this young lady, a maid.
Right.
Try to console her and standing by her, but they don't want the knowledge to come out. That's the only way I can describe it.
Just been up there, up to the top floors. Nobody up there whatsoever. We heard another couple of bangs. I thought I heard what sounded like footsteps, but dull footsteps. And that was again, and we've just been up there, literally.
Again.
Yeah.
We all heard several noises, but would we discover who or what was making them? Could members of the Molyneux family be trying to communicate with us?
That's 2 bangs I've just heard now.
Derek had already picked up on the presence of a young maid, but we'd also heard some unexplained noises. As the night drew in, we moved to the card room in the hope of learning more about this paranormal activity.
As we come through the doorway, I noticed to the left of me there, very gently, I am Mary. I am Mary.
Right.
I belong here. And a very nice woman, a very caring woman. Mary's talking to Philip. There's a man called Philip here. Philip? Yes? He belongs here as well. Philip. Samsa said he is responsible. He is responsible for the dark shadows that walk the passageways, that appears to the eyes, the shadowy. Philip is the shadowy one.
Has Philip got a surname? Can Sam give us the surname?
Can you give me the surname, Sam? Okay, it sounds like Molyneux. Molyneux? Molyneux. Oh, I'm pronouncing that. Is that right? Molyneux? He's a courageous man. He's a good man. Oh, God, you're going to laugh at this. He doesn't like when he walks through the building, even though he's of spirit person now, he does not like encountering the nasty, almost evil, intense soul. Did you hear something again?
It's thumps again. I can hear it.
Whilst we were accompanying Derek on a walk around, we asked psychic artist Brian Shepherd to investigate one of the rooms that was damaged in 1952 when a fire tore through the house. Using his clairvoyant abilities, Brian is able to draw the spirits he sees. Would any spirits try and communicate with him at Croxteth?
There was a suggestion of laughter somewhere, whether it was in this room or in the hall, and I started to pick up a couple of young girls, it seemed. And in actual fact, I started to draw. I'm afraid it was very weak. The shape suggested girls in hats and long coats. 2 girls together, playing a game. And got so far and was cut off. They disappeared. They were gone. And they were replaced by another, a much stronger feeling. And that made itself very apparent. We're looking at this gentleman. Apparently, William Creedy, as he, in actual fact, has signed. Now, I don't know what William Creedy has to do with this house, or the family who have owned this house for so long. But this man demanded that a presence. He demanded that I draw him. His suggestion was that he belonged here, and there was something about his mother.
Unfortunately, we couldn't find a picture of William Creevey, but it's strange that Brian picked up on this spirit because it's rumoured that his son Thomas was actually the illegitimate offspring of the first Earl of Sefton. It is therefore more likely that Thomas and not William would feel that he belonged at Croxteth Hall.
Philip likes to come in here. So does William. Philip and William. Good souls.
How are they connected?
How are they connected, Sam? They're all connected to each other because they were family, but I don't feel all at the same time. Those two gentlemen, I just heard them in like a conversation just a moment ago, talking about, I don't know why, but talking about, and it sounded like Cecilia. Or Celia? Cecilia? Cecilia, not Celia. Cecilia knows what happened.
Okay. Can you give me, you're talking about the family, what's the strong family name here, Philip and
What's
William?
the strongest family name? Plain. Go on. Sam says Molyneux.
Right.
Molyneux.
Right. So they're all Philip and William Molyneux.
They must be, Evie,
Yeah.
because as he gives me that, and I feel, with these souls as we're encountering their energies as we go along, and I'm sure they're going to do things, but I feel goodness with them.
Right.
There's nothing negative. I feel, what I feel about as we're walking through here, the love of this home.
Yeah.
And that's the reason why they're here in this activity, because they've not forgotten how happy they have been here. This passageway.
You see, now I think this corridor is really scary. It just goes on and on.
Yeah. Now, just coming into this corridor, I don't know if it's, basically happening on such a regular basis, but I'm aware, again, of a lot of movement up and down this passageway.
By one
at
particular
times.
person or lots?
I feel there is one that rushes through here, that there must be a reason why it's a male, I pick up a male, who is, do you know where I can put it, is tormented.
Is this the not very pleasant character?
Yeah. He's tormented, but he's tormented by himself. He's tormented by... I pick up the staleness now, not like with the other spirit individuals. The staleness of mind, meaning maybe how he was thinking. It's like saying, this one felt as if he was in control of everything. He was I don't know how I can put it, it's like the Lord over everything, and he could do anything he wanted to do. Augustus.
Right.
He's a bad soul.
Is this the same surname as well? Molyneux?
Is that I feel it is.
Right.
I feel it is. He's the bad soul.
Right.
He's the evil one. And they separate themselves. They're disgusted in him. They stay clear of him, but they can't clear him out the atmosphere. He's a bad soul. He did some despicable things. He was in a high position here, and maids, young people, he would just have them and rape them and do all kinds of things to them.
Right.
But he's got himself to blame for keeping himself housed in this atmosphere for the despicable things he did.
As we prepared to turn off the lights and switch to night vision, parapsychologist Dr. Matthew Smith joined us on location for the first time. He's known for his scepticism, but would a night at Croxteth Hall change his mind?
There's energy. And in this area here now, it's like a playback to me. It's like there's a lot of individual screaming and a man's anger being displayed over a lady. And it's like as if he's, the only way I wanted, is if I want to beat down on this person, this poor soul, and she's screaming. It's like as if she's screaming for her life. And his anger, he wants it. The way I feel is if he wants her dead. He wants her not to be here. His anger, he's lost it. He's out of control. He's just so wicked in his thoughts. And it's all in this atmosphere here. So I feel, Ivy, that at some time, a person was beaten terribly and would have been, oh bless her, she wouldn't have lost her life here. She would have been dragged out, taken, maybe just on the last threads of her life, was taken out by this beast of a man.
But who is this man that's done it?
Again, I'm getting these conditions of a person that thought he could do anything.
This is the Lord you're talking
It's
about?
definitely Lord. Thank you. Just let me move around just a little bit, because I just want to... It's like as if, after doing this beating, it's like as if he's walking round, or he walked round, looking down at the physical of this young lady, definitely a maid, and he's trying to think what he should do next.
Did it happen in this room?
I feel it's in this area here, most definitely here, in this kitchen area.
Is this the same man that was on the upper floors?
Yeah, it is Augustus.
Yeah.
Augustus.
And who was the woman? Is this the maid you're talking
It was
about?
a maid. I'm looking down at that energy there. You know, Ivy, she was carrying child. She was carrying a baby.
Was it his baby?
Yes. Okay. Sam's confirming this, yes.
What was the name of the maid?
Can you give me the name of the maid, please? Tina? Tina.
Any surname?
Can you give me a surname, please, son? He's given Tina Brown. Tina Brown.
Okay.
Derek had already given us the names of a couple of spirit people, but would the evil individual he'd mentioned make his presence felt?
Jesus Christ.
Derek was picking up on a lot of information, but he was drawn back to the breakfast room where we'd heard the noises earlier. Whilst we waited downstairs, Carl went up to the attic with a night vision camera to see if he could detect where the noise was coming from.
I can't hear anything. I can just about hear them downstairs. Just about. I'm completely on my own up here, and I feel fine. I felt absolutely fine. I don't feel scared. I keep completely still. I saw something here. Saw and heard. What was that? I'm not moving a muscle.
It was.
I'm not moving. What could that be? No, it could be anything. Could be anything.
Who's that? What's that? Do you know, Tom? Yeah, nothing.
Yeah, but wasn't. Sounded like someone walking. Could have come. Did not from in this room? No, definitely not from in this room.
Sounded to me like it's a panel over there.
shutter or something.
Tap, yeah. No, that was like a just a
Somebody go check on
thing
Carl.
being bumped.
Go on, somebody, let's go check on Carl.
Yeah, yeah. Okay.
It's got to be Carl.
Just one of you. Does no one stay here and see that one?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, okay, where you go, Phil?
Okay, Stuart, you stay here.
You follow.
The crashing noise scared us all, and we were worried for Carl. A plank of wood had fallen onto him, but could Carl have accidentally knocked the panel, or was this one of the spirits trying to communicate with us?
What was that bang? Was it that?
It was this piece of ply. Well, this was on the floor. I'm presuming it was because I'm presuming it was up there.
Yeah. Have you just picked it up?
I've just picked it up and put it back. Yeah.
I don't think that was there, you know.
I picked it up from the floor.
Oh, right, okay.
It was on the floor and I just picked it up and put it back. So, do you want us to?
That made one hell of a bang.
It did. Yeah, I want to look. There's a part of me because I'm wondering whether I keep this. I'm wondering whether. I don't know. Phil, what do you think? Vigils now?
Yeah, while things are happening, I think it's a good time to do it.
As normal, the crew split up into groups for the night vigils. Croxteth is a massive building, and there was so much reported paranormal activity from different parts of the hall. Phil, Matthew and myself decided to head to the principal corridor. Curator Julia Calder said people had reported paranormal activity here on numerous occasions. This was also where the photograph was taken, showing a strange light shape. But would we see or hear anything out of the ordinary?
Did you see that? I saw that. I've got it on camera as well.
I don't know, it's as though reflecting from a light somewhere. But, well, there's this light down there. Is that from a light, do you think?
I think that's from
the building or from outside?
I think it's from outside.
It wasn't long before Matthew and I witnessed a clear flash of light. We also caught this light anomaly. This took place in the same corridor as the picture. In the dark, this long passageway really was atmospheric and very spooky.
Oh, look at that.
Oh, God. Oh, my God.
So I don't see why they covered it. It looks so eerie.
Wendy, Suze and Kath decided to conduct their vigil in the kitchen.
Oh God, this is awful.
I actually really don't like it in here.
No, I don't.
Really don't. Horrible.
Kath, how do you feel?
I particularly feel fine.
You do?
Yeah,
Do you?
I do. Normally with you two, we've done plenty of vigils before, and I've been so scared that I'm physically, my body's hurting, you know, from you holding yourself and being so scared. But on this one, I don't feel as bad. I don't know if it's because it's a nice place. We've been to nice places and been scared. Do you know what I mean? I don't know. Or then again, is it because I'm in control of this camera and I'm not so scared? I've just got either orb or dust right across the screen.
Kathy's still not worried.
No, I don't. I'm not worried, but I'm not petrified or scared. But I keep. See, this is what I keep hearing. You two keep talking, and I can hear whispering.
I've just heard a bang.
And I've just heard a bang just then. But I'm sure I heard a What the fuck was that? What the fuck was that noise? Did anybody hear that noise? I don't like it.
Oh my God, but it was Kath coughing.
No, there footsteps down there. I swear to God. Did nobody hear them footsteps? It wasn't coughing.
I don't know.
It was like this. Did you not hear that?
No. I think we should go back in.
You know, you've made me feel funny. I can't move my legs. I didn't like that. Did nobody hear that stamping? I know you coughed.
No, I hope she coughed right next to me, so I didn't.
Oh, you made me go all shaky. I don't like it. Footsteps. Now, if there's somebody down there, then fair enough, I'll eat my heart. Oh, come on, you're having a laugh.
That's only one set of footsteps.
No, that's a big door.
Yeah.
But who's up here? Who's up there? I think we should go, please. I don't like it.
The girls were convinced that they'd heard footsteps in the kitchen and had had enough. So Carl, John, Phil and myself decided to take over where they'd left off. We waited quietly for anything to happen.
It was like a... Yeah. I've got coins in my pockets, it wasn't this.
No, it came from over there.
Oh, Christ. Whoa. Sorry. You guys, it's a reflection of the shadow of that camera over there. Because I just heard a sort of click from over there, and your shadow came.
I'll tell you what it sounded like, knives being sharpened.
Yes, yeah.
A knife running across a... It was like two knives being sharpened really slowly.
Oh, stop.
No,
That's what it sounded like. It's a knife shot. It has that high-pitched sound.
We were all eager to see more, and our experiences during Derek's walk-around left us hopeful that we would encounter further paranormal activity. We wouldn't have to wait too long. The cellar was so isolated, tucked away in the dark depths of the hall. Everything seemed so quiet, but all that was about to change.
Tell you what about, because there's no way out. If we close this door, it's like, I don't think there's any way out of this room. I feel like we're going, do you know what I mean, underground in a cellar.
You see, the thing is,
It feels like a cellar to me.
You've got the night vision cameras. I can't see a thing.
Where is it, buddy? Oh, sorry. It's me.
Phil,
yeah.
Is that door closed? Close that door behind you.
I can't even see the door behind me. Can't see the door behind me. We've got a table here.
Yeah.
John, how do you feel? Right. What do you mean?
Behind you, John. There's a rustling behind you.
Didn't hear it. This place is definitely, to me, this is the scariest place in the whole building, and the building is scary. Of all the rooms I've been in, this one. What?
Where was it?
It's over here behind us. Did you hear that, Phil?
Yeah.
Tell me what you heard.
It sounded like 2 footsteps on the stone floor.
Yeah.
What? Like boot footsteps.
Yeah.
The building is scary. Of all the rooms I've been in, this one. Of all the rooms I've been in, this one.
Is there anybody here in this room? Is there anybody that can hear my voice? Can you hear my voice or see us? If you can you please try and show us where you are by making a noise? Can you try and do something, please? Anything at all? Please try and do it now.
Just as we'd given up hope, something strange occurred.
Whoa. What was that? Something fell off that table, yeah?
Yeah, probably. What was it? Turn the lights off, turn the lights off, turn the lights off.
Something over here.
What is that? Wasn't that. It didn't sound that. That would have sounded metallic.
Just as we left that room.
Could one of the crew have caught the candle holder as we left, or was this the work of the spirit of Augustus? With so many rooms still to investigate in this enormous hall, we decided some of the crew would have to do solo vigils. Would Richard be able to cope alone in the kitchen?
I'm hearing things already. I didn't like it, and I'm going back outside just to see if it was someone that was outside that was making that noise. Hello? Now then, kid you not, nobody here, nobody made that noise. Something made that noise in there and I don't like it, and I'm going in, I'm going back. I have to try, I just have to try and conquer this fear. Here we go. It's not nice. I can't bring myself to go into the kitchen. It's only there. My God, just listen. Footsteps, lots and lots of footsteps upstairs. I would stay, but I honestly think that discretion is the better part of valour. I'm going home.
Richard Felix hadn't even made it into the kitchen on his solo vigil, so our resident skeptic Matthew Smith volunteered to investigate the room for himself. So far, so good. He'd got further than Richard.
There are some dark corners like over here. Which is not very nice to be in here at all. I don't like it. It's not as bad as I thought it would be, but it's like now when you find you are talking, obviously to provide a commentary, but it helps just cover the eerie silence. I tell you what is eerie in here. Especially looking down from here. I mean, looking down there, you can see there's these things hanging from the ceiling. Like little nooses. Awful. They look pretty horrible.
Whilst Matthew moved on to investigate the principal corridor, Stuart had ventured into the attic.
I'm going to spend half an hour, maybe an hour up here on my own doing a vigil to see if there's anything out there. So I'm going to go into one of the bedrooms now, do a seance and see what goes down. Okay. Right, as you can see, I'm in the bedroom. The door's closed. The only available light source I've got is what's coming through that window. So I'll stand there now and do a seance. What was that? Shit, what the fuck was that then? Hello? Hello? Is there anyone out here? That sounded like a door closing or something. What's in this one? No, it's just a bathroom in there. What the hell was that then? Hello? Fucking hell. That's 2 bangs I've just heard now. Oh, fuck this.
I saw something down here, but I think it was an optical illusion from the The banisters, as I walked past the banisters then, it was a strange optical thing just from my eyes, made it look as though there was something there, which sort of made the kind of hairs on the back of my neck stand up. It's very dark down here now. And I'm pointing down the end because there has been people have seen things down the very far end of this corridor, which is extremely dark now. This is where I was before, with Yvette and with Phil. And it's obviously, being now on my own is a little bit more, less comfortable than being with those two folks, because that was a bit more good. But it's not too bad, because there is lighting from outside, which makes it not quite so claustrophobic.
The noise I've just heard back there, I'm on my own, there's no one else up here at all, there's just been a bang on the door. I'm not going back. Now, I've literally just started this, coming round, doing the sounds on my own. I was just about to start talking, doing a visual, and I've heard 3 bangs now in the space of 1 minute. I don't know what's back there. I'm not going back. As far as I'm concerned, it can stay there.
That looks horrible in there. Oh dear, it is very dark in here. Almost pitch black. This is where I'm starting to get a bit anxious now because I can't see.
It had been a long night, and investigating so much of this expansive building had left the crew exhausted. All the active rooms had been monitored throughout the night, and nothing unusual had been noted. We'd not experienced as much as we'd hoped we would, but there'd been some definite activity. Light anomalies had been seen by a number of the team, footsteps had been heard, and there'd been some suspected poltergeist activity. Could these experiences be given logical explanations, or were the spirits of Croxteth Hall at play?
Well, Croxteth Hall, a fantastic place. You don't really realise how big it is until you're actually inside it. 210 rooms, and inevitably we didn't get a chance to do all of those rooms. During the walk-arounds, things started to happen, and I was pretty hopeful for that carrying on all through the night, to be honest. When we come to do the vigils, however, things seem to die down an awful lot.
The ghosts that are here, I believe, are, for want of a better word, benign. They visit, they liked the place, and so they keep popping back. And although it was a very, very interesting place to go around, a real privilege, if you like, to see it and go around it, I don't personally believe that it's one of the most haunted buildings in England.
While I feel that some of the crew might be disappointed in what actually happened during the investigation, we have to remember that certain things did actually happen. Stuart, in particular, heard some strange noises in the attic, and at one point I'm led to believe that he actually ran out of the attic in fright. So, this place can deliver ghostly paranormal activity. It's just a matter of choosing the right time as to how much of that activity you're going to witness.
A real high point for me was when we entered the billiard room and Yvette suddenly bolted and really lost the plot when suddenly Phil brushed past her. Please.
That's me. That's me.
You're all right.
Calm down.
Calm
down. I caught my pack on this door.
She really bolted, and we had to virtually calm her down, settle her down, and it took a little while because she really felt as if she'd been touched.
This is obviously my very first time I've been involved in one of the actual investigations. I was a little bit concerned that the prospect of maybe having to go and explore some of these rooms on my own, obviously in the dark. Having done it now, we've now pretty much completed the investigation, and I've not really experienced anything that I have a hard time in explaining. I think some of the tapping and creaking heard there could simply be from the creaking in the wood panelling. It's probably fair to say on one occasion, actually quite early in the evening, when I was probably still a little bit apprehensive, And it was all very, very quiet, and we were listening for noises. And all of a sudden, there was an almighty bang, which we think may well have been caused by Carl himself, so nothing paranormal. But I must admit, I did get a little bit frightened by it. I think I did sort of grab onto both, I think, Phil and Yvette, because it frightened me. I don't mind admitting that. Again, I don't think anything particularly paranormal is to explain there. It just tells us a lot about the psychology of apprehension, of expectation, and maybe a little bit about the psychology of fear.
This was an incredible place to investigate, and it had set certain crew members' hearts racing.
I don't think any of us will forget our time here at Croxteth Hall. Until the next time, sleep tight.
And if you enjoyed that, then make sure you catch Living TV tomorrow night at 9 for Most Haunted, almost live from Blackpool. After the break tonight, double CSI.